In a peaceful forest, a small sparrow named Pip lived with her 3 tiny chicks. Pip was a devoted mother and built a cozy nest high in a tree. Her chicks, Chirp, Tweet, and Peep, were her world. Every day, she would venture out to find food for them. The forest was their safe haven. One day, a menacing eagle named Talon flew into the forest. Talon was powerful and feared by all the small animals. He soared through the sky, his sharp eyes scanning for prey. Pip had heard stories about Talon and his hunting prowess. She knew she had to be cautious. Talon's shadow passed over Pip's nest, and she felt a chill of fear. She quickly covered her chicks with her wings. Talon circled above, looking for an opportunity. Pip's heart raced as she tried to stay hidden. The safety of her chicks depended on her. Talon's sharp eyes spotted Pip's nest. He swooped down with terrifying speed. Pip sprang into action, flying up to meet him. She chirped loudly, trying to divert his attention. Talon paused, surprised by the small bird's bravery. Pip darted around Talon, using her agility to outmaneuver him. She knew she had to lead him away from her nest. Talon, frustrated, chased after her. Pip flew towards the denser part of the forest. The thick branches slowed Talon down. Back at the nest, the chicks huddled together, frightened but safe for now. Pip's friend, a wise old owl named Hoot, watched from a nearby tree. Hoot knew the forest well and decided to help. He flew silently towards Talon's path. Hoot had a plan to protect Pip and her chicks. Hoot called out to Pip, "Keep him distracted. I will take care of the rest." Pip trusted Hoot and continued to lead Talon away. Hoot positioned himself on a high branch. When Talon approached, Hoot let out a loud hoot. Talon, startled, veered off course. Pip took advantage of Talon's momentary distraction. She flew into a narrow gap between 2 trees. Talon struggled to follow, his large wingspan hindering his movement. Pip zipped through the trees with incredible speed. She could hear Talon's frustrated cries behind her. Hoot watched Talon's struggle and decided it was time for the next part of his plan. He flew to the edge of the forest, where a group of crows lived. Hoot explained the situation to the crows, who agreed to help. They flew back to the forest with Hoot. Together, they formed a protective barrier around Pip's nest. Pip noticed the crows and Hoot forming a barrier. She felt a surge of hope. Talon, exhausted from the chase, finally gave up. He flew away, defeated and angry. Pip quickly returned to her nest, where her chicks eagerly awaited her. "Mama, you're back," Chirp chirped happily. Pip nuzzled her chicks, relieved they were safe. Hoot and the crows perched nearby, keeping watch. Pip thanked them for their help. The forest had united to protect its smallest inhabitants. Talon, though beaten, was not one to give up easily. He perched on a distant cliff, plotting his next move. He knew he needed a new strategy to catch his prey. The forest was on high alert. Knowing Talon might return, Pip remained vigilant, ready to protect her family. Days passed, and the forest returned to its peaceful routine. Pip continued to care for her chicks, teaching them to fly and find food. The crows and Hoot kept a watchful eye from above. Talon remained unseen but not forgotten. The forest animals knew they had to stay united. One morning, Pip noticed something unusual. A trail of feathers led away from her nest. She followed the trail cautiously. It led to a clearing where Talon was waiting. He had set a trap to lure her away from her chicks. Pip quickly realized the danger. She had to warn the others. Pip flew back to the nest, alerting Hoot and the crows. "Talon has set a trap," she told them. Hoot devised a plan to outsmart Talon once and for all. Hoot and the crows spread the word to the other forest animals. The rabbits, squirrels, and deer all joined in. They created diversions to confuse Talon. Pip and Hoot coordinated their efforts. The forest buzzed with activity as they prepared for the showdown. Talon, unaware of the forest's unity, waited in the clearing. Suddenly, a rabbit darted across his path, drawing his attention. Talon chased after the rabbit, but it quickly disappeared into a burrow. Frustrated, Talon turned back, only to find more animals creating distractions. Pip took this opportunity to fly high above the trees. She had a plan to lead Talon far away from the forest. She chirped loudly, catching Talon's attention. Talon looked up and saw Pip. Determined to catch her, he took off in pursuit. Pip led Talon on a wild chase through the skies. She flew towards a distant mountain range, away from the forest. Talon followed, his eyes fixed on Pip. The other animals watched from below, cheering for Pip. They knew this was their chance to finally rid the forest of Talon. As Pip neared the mountains, she spotted a narrow canyon. She darted into the canyon, her small size allowing her to navigate easily. Talon, however, struggled to follow. The canyon walls were too close for his large wingspan. He flapped desperately, trying to keep up. Pip flew deeper into the canyon, leading Talon further from the forest. She knew she had to keep him away for good. Talon, exhausted and frustrated, began to lose hope. Pip saw an opportunity to end the chase. She flew towards a rocky outcrop, her heart pounding. Pip darted under the rocky outcrop, finding a small cave. Talon, too large to follow, crashed into the rocks. He screeched in pain and anger. Pip watched from the safety of the cave, relieved but cautious. She knew Talon wouldn't give up easily. Talon, injured and humiliated, retreated to the mountains. He knew he couldn't return to the forest. Pip waited until she was sure Talon was gone. She then flew back to the forest, eager to see her chicks. The other animals greeted her with cheers and gratitude. "You did it, Pip," Hoot hooted proudly. Pip nuzzled her chicks, who chirped happily. The forest was safe once more. Hoot and the crows kept a lookout, ensuring Talon didn't return. Pip felt a sense of peace and accomplishment. Days turned into weeks, and the forest remained peaceful. Pip's chicks grew stronger each day. They practiced flying under Pip's watchful eye. The other animals continued to work together, maintaining the safety of their home. Talon was never seen again. One day, Pip noticed a new family of sparrows building a nest nearby. She welcomed them warmly. The forest community had grown stronger from their shared experience. They knew the importance of unity and vigilance. Life in the forest flourished. Pip's chicks were soon ready to leave the nest. Chirp, Tweet, and Peep had grown into confident young sparrows. Pip watched with pride as they took their first solo flights. She knew they were ready to face the world. The forest had taught them well. Hoot continued to serve as the forest's wise guardian. He often shared stories of their adventures with the younger animals. Pip and Hoot remained close friends. Their bond had been forged through trials and triumphs. They knew they could always count on each other. As the seasons changed, the forest thrived. The animals worked together to ensure their home remained a sanctuary. Pip often thought of Talon and the lessons they had learned. She was grateful for the strength and courage she had discovered within herself. The forest was a place of harmony and safety. One evening, as the sun set, Pip perched on a branch overlooking the forest. She watched the other animals below, feeling a deep sense of contentment. The forest was her home, and she would always protect it. The memories of their adventure would stay with her forever. Pip knew that together they could overcome any challenge. Pip's story became a legend among the forest animals. New generations of sparrows, crows, rabbits, and others learned about her bravery. They were inspired by her courage and determination. The forest's unity was stronger than ever. Pip's legacy lived on in the hearts of all who called the forest home. As Pip grew older, she continued to care for her family and friends. She taught her grandchildren the skills they needed to survive. They listened intently to her stories and learned from her experiences. Pip's wisdom guided them through their own adventures. The cycle of life in the forest continued. One day, a young sparrow named Flick approached Pip. "Will you teach me how to be brave like you?" Flick asked. Pip smiled and agreed. She saw a spark of courage in Flick's eyes. Together they flew into the forest, ready for new adventures. Pip knew that as long as the forest animals stood together, they would always be safe. She cherished the bonds they had formed and the lessons they had learned. The forest was a place of love, courage, and unity. Pip's journey had shown them the true meaning of strength. The story of Pip and the forest would be told for generations to come. And so, as the sun set each evening, the forest animals gathered to listen to Pip's stories. They celebrated their victories and remembered their challenges. The spirit of the forest was alive in each of them. Together they faced the future with hope and determination. The tale of Pip and the forest was one of bravery, unity, and everlasting friendship. Please subscribe to the channel for fun and learning.